for those who have already been on a roadshow. It is much appreciated, and we're just really excited to be carrying our product in a roadshow at Costco. So for those who have not been trained yet, this is a product training for you. For those who have been trained, this is going to be a refresher. We will do questions by the end of this call, so feel free to jot them down or remember them, and then I'll ask you as we go along. So the screen that you see in front of you shows you three beautiful women. Our product is the Me Smooth device. Our tagline is Me for the Most Beautiful We. And these three pretty ladies pretty much signifies the three various skin tones and various hair colors that our product targets. This is an image of the device and how it looks like. If you haven't had a chance to try it before you start your roadshow, make sure that you could play with it with the tester unit that you have in store. Let's start with the company first in general. Who are we? We are called Iluminage Beauty. We are a joint venture formed in 2013 between two companies, Syneron and Unilever. Let's start with Unilever. Unilever is one of the world's leading suppliers of personal care, home, and food products. The logos that you see in front of you, I'm sure you're pretty familiar with. These are the different products that fall under Unilever, so you can imagine that it's a really big consumer goods company. And they have decided to tie up and merge with Syneron Medical, which is a leading global aesthetic company. If you were to go and get professional treatment done at a doctor's office, let's say body treatments such as body contouring, hair removal, tattoo removal, or if you were to go to a doctor's office for facial treatments such as wrinkle reduction, skin tightening, acne treatment, more often than not, the big devices or the big machines that you would find that the doctors use are created by Syneron Medical. So what's great about our product and this partnership is that we are bringing to market technologies that already exist that are being used professionally, but now you could use it in the comfort of your home. And so that is what Iluminage Beauty is all about, and that is who our company is. This is important for you to remember, because when you have people coming up to you, your customers, they're asking questions, we want to remind them that we are not just any other company. We belong and we are part of two big companies such as Syneron and Unilever, and we're bringing to market products that have had research and development, and at the same time, products that have already worked in terms of medical offices. Our product is a hair removal device, and so let's talk a little bit about the history of hair removal. The first generation of hair removal back in the 70s to the 90s, it's through laser. Laser was the only way if you wanted to get permanent hair removal. And laser is a great way to remove your hair. The downside are two things. One, you will feel a sensation when you use laser. It's not for the faint of heart. You are going to feel a little bit of pain, although some people get used to it. The second downside about using the laser for hair removal is that it is only targeted for skin tones 1 to 4. So if you are skin tone 5 and 6, you can't use the laser for hair removal. And that was the only thing that existed back in the 70s and the 90s. But the second generation of hair removal came out, and this is IPL, or Intense Pulse Light. The inventor of Intense Pulse Light happened to be the Syneron's founder as well, Dr. Shimon Eckhouse. What this is it uses pulses of light that penetrates deep into the skin. It is not laser, so it doesn't hurt. What it does is it flashes pulses of light that disables the hair from the root. And this is great as well because now you don't have to experience the same kind of sensation or pain you feel when using the laser. The downside of the IPL, or the Intense Pulse Light, however, is that it's only good as well for skin tones 1 to 4. So again, if you fall under skin tone 5 and 6, you can't use this device or this technology. So Dr. Shimon Eckhouse created and invented the third generation of hair removal, and this is the technology that we have for our device. It's called ELOS technology, or electro-optical synergy. You don't have to memorize that. We just call it ELOS. And ELOS is a combination of IPL and radio frequency. So we have that IPL, so it's not laser. Always remember that. I say that all the time because we do have customers coming in and then they'll say, oh, it's laser, because that's what they're familiar with. But we have to educate them and tell them, no, this is ELOS technology. It's a combination of IPL and radio frequency, or RF. The combination of both gives a synergistic effect of deep penetration. And what it does is the light energy converts to thermal energy. It heats up the hair shaft and the hair follicle. And the RF heats it further, and it disables the hair, and it prevents it from growing. How do I explain this in layman's terms? Because, of course, our customers are busy shopping at Costco, and the last thing they need is a scientific explanation of how it works. How I normally say it is ELOS technology, a combination of IPL and RF, recognizes the color of your skin and the color of your hair follicle. It disables the hair follicle from the root, and it prevents it from growing again. It will not happen immediately. So that's one of the things too. It's not instant gratification wherein as soon as they do a demo in the store or their first treatment, it's going to work. It takes some time. Our hair cycle is once every 7 days. So with this device, you need to use it once a week for 7 weeks for it to work. And that's ELOS technology. Now let's proceed to Me Smooth and talk about the claims that we have and what it is. Again, we like to highlight about ELOS technology, the power of ELOS technology. The Me Smooth is a permanent hair reduction device, so that is our legal way of saying it, hair reduction device. You are allowed to say hair removal device as well. It is the only FDA cleared at-home professional hair removal technology for all skin tones on the face and the body. Now for the face, we only use this on women's faces from the cheekbone down. For the men, we use it from the neck down. This is used by dermatologists around the world. It is clinically proven to be effective on the widest range of hair colors, even on blonde, dark blonde, and red hair. This is very important because those who don't have a contrast in color between hair and skin normally have a hard time using a hair removal device. But our device is the only one that could cater to everyone's hair color as well. Clinical results show 94% of hair reduction in just 7 treatments. We use this device once a week for 7 weeks. Now let's step back for a little bit and talk about 94% of hair reduction. This is important in managing the expectation of a customer. We do not say 100% removed is going to be gone forever. We say 94% of hair reduction. Nothing is permanent. Always remember that it's not 100% of hair that's going to be. I need to pause for a moment and request everybody to hold on.
Please mute your phones. Please mute your phone.
Okay, good. We're back. The color chart that you find in front of you shows you the widest range of hair colors as well as skin tones, so we cater to everyone. That's very important to know. And again, going back to the clinical results of 94% of hair reduction. The next slide that you see is our treatment time slide. And the images that you see are great images because these are actually available in the packaging of our product. It's also available in the postcards that you have in store. So you don't have to memorize each treatment time. You could give out the postcards, and you could also refer to it from the packaging and also the user manual that the customer can look at. But in looking at the images in front of you, it really shows you what part of the body you can use this device. So let's go to the women's face. Again, I said only women's faces, not men. The reason is because we did not clinically test this product on men's faces. Because should they decide to grow their facial hair again, it may never grow back anymore. It doesn't mean that for men it's not safe, but for women it's safe. It is safe for everyone to use. If a guy wants to use it and he wants to make that commitment to permanently remove his hair forever, or at least, 94%, then he can. But we do not want to recommend that because it's not our responsibility if they want to grow their hair back and it's not going to grow back anymore. So we want to focus on we sell and only stay for women's faces from the cheekbone down. And then for the body, all over the body, we could use it for both men and women. The treatment times that you see are suggested treatment times for an average person. So if someone's using it on their face, you could use it via stamping technique. Instead of gliding, you could stamp it, and you could stamp it on the area going back and forth for 2 minutes. On your underarm, 1 minute is recommended. So you glide back and forth for 1 minute per underarm. So that makes it 2 minutes worth, 1 minute each underarm. You could use it on your bikini area, on your arms, on your legs, on your back, on the chest. For men, it's a little bit more challenging. Let's say, for example, they're pretty much hairy on their chest and in their back. It might take much longer compared to women because they have more hair there. And so they just need to be a little bit more patient. Everyone's hair is different. And that's one thing also to remember as you manage your expectations, manage the expectations of your client. These are great images here of our before and afters. You have these images as well on the floor, on the selling floor. You have your chart, you have your before and after chart that you could refer to. So what you're seeing here is the forearm. After a 7-weekly treatment, there still is some hair up here on some areas, so you have to still continue and do touch-ups. But this is a great before and after, as well as this next slide that shows you a man's back of their before and after. As you can see, there's still a little bit of stubble here and there after 7-weekly treatment. You have to keep in mind that the type of hair might be ingrown hair, it's a little bit more coarse in some areas. So it varies for everybody, but you will expect that the hair will not be growing back anymore on the areas that it used to grow. It's going to, if it does grow back, it's not going to grow back on the exact same spot. It's going to grow back somewhere else. Here's an image of the underarms before and after. And this is a great image as well, especially for women. Sometimes when we shave our underarms so often, we get a dark shadow. But by using the device, we shave less and less. And the minute you stop shaving, really, and your hair is barely growing, you kind of see that the dark shadow is no longer there. And that's one of the great things about this device as well. Now let's move on and talk about how to use the product. This is very important. This is an important protocol, especially when you speak to a customer right before they take home the product. Make sure that you walk them through how to use it. That way we prevent returns. If they didn't know how to use it, then we're going to have to get a return. So let's make sure we walk them through it. The first thing we need to do is to prepare our skin by removing the hair from the surface. Why do we have to do this? Even if you go to a doctor's office, they are going to shave or wax you prior to using the device. Mostly they'll shave your hair. The reason that we do this is because the hair underneath your skin, the follicle underneath your skin is still long. You want to make sure that the technology really targets the root of the hair follicle. If you have hair above your skin and you still haven't shaved or waxed it, then it's not going to go and penetrate underneath the skin. So you have to remove the top layer of the hair, then use the device, and that's how it's going to work. Now, if you have dark hair, we recommend that you shave or wax the area you want to treat. Then you wipe clean and dry the area and use the device. If you have fair hair, so this is for those who have blonde hair, or those who barely show the difference between the hair color and the skin color, meaning there's no contrast in color, what we would recommend is you wax or epilate immediately before treating. Why do we do this? When you wax or epilate, you pull out the hair from the follicle. When you pull out the hair follicle, from the root, when you pull out the hair follicle from the root, a redness, a pocket of blood or redness appears underneath your skin. When you use the device after you wax or epilate, it is going to know that that's where the root of the hair came from because there is that contrast and color by the redness underneath the skin. If you're using it on your face, you can wax, and you could also tweeze your facial hair if you want to. Two differences. If you have dark hair or you have a contrast in color, dark hair, light skin, you can shave or wax the area before treating. If you have fair hair, you can wax or epilate, and then after doing that, you can treat. Now let's talk about the treatment time for waxing and epilating. So let's say you go to a spa and you are, out of the house, you don't have the device with you. How long do you need before you have to go home and use the device? My recommendation is as soon as possible. You still have a couple of hours, as long as that redness underneath your skin is still there. So try to do it within the same day, preferably within 2 to 4 hours after having your wax. Come home and do the treatment. Don't wait overnight because by that time there might not be any redness anymore. So the technology will not be able to read where the root of the hair came from. And that would be our recommendation. Now let's go to the next slide, going back to using the device on the face. Like I mentioned earlier, it's only from the cheekbone or cheek line down. You can use this device on your upper lip, your sideburns, jaw, chin, the neck area. Some people go to the store and their main concern is just facial hair. We do even for the facial hair alone. And then when people find out that they can use it all over the body, it's even more amazing. But a lot, especially for hormonal reasons, a lot of women have facial hair that used to not exist, but they exist already. This is something that they would love to have, and we want to demo this on them using a stamping motion. So when you stamp the device versus gliding it, it's going to emit this light, and you stamp it on the treatment area, you gently lift it, and then you stamp it again on the next area that you want to treat. You go over each area 2 to 3 times in a treatment session. Now let's talk about activating the device. So you have the product in front of you. There's the power button, but before anything, make sure you plug the device. That's another thing. This comes with a plug. It needs to be plugged at all times. So make sure you remind your customer that you have to plug the device first, and then you turn on the power button. Then you have to choose the appropriate ELOS level. There are 3 levels: low, medium, and high. When you're doing a demo, always start on a low level. Slowly then work your way to the level that's most comfortable for you. We always recommend the highest level because that would be the most efficient way to use the device. And don't worry, if you haven't tried the product, you're going to see that the low versus the medium versus the high isn't really such a drastic difference. The high could be a little bit warmer, but then you get used to it. So again, choose the ELOS level, start with the low, but we always recommend slowly work your way up to the medium or the high level, and that's the level you should be using when you use the device. You then press the ELOS button, and you're going to hear an activation. We have a video for this as well, so don't worry if you don't remember what I'm saying. You could watch the how-to video that could walk you through step by step. Step 4 is gliding the device. There's 2 silver bars on each side of the treatment window. These bars emit the pulses of bright white light, so just make sure that you glide it on your skin surface and make sure they both are in contact with your skin. And then when you glide, you refer to the chart that I showed earlier for the treatment time, and you could cover the areas that you want to treat 2 to 3 times. The approximate treatment times are outlined in the user manual as well for reference. So that is how we activate the device. Now, before I continue on and talk about the ELOS cartridge and all the accessories we have, I do want to touch up on the hair and when is it going to grow back again. This is another way for us to manage expectations. Like we said, our clinical studies show 94% of hair reduction. Now, we want to make sure that we tell them the disclaimer. which is everyone's hair and skin is different, so the results could vary. Some people's hair might take longer to remove than others, but on the average, our protocol is once a week for 7 weeks. Now, when is hair going to grow back again? Hair is going to grow back due to hormonal reasons. For example, if you were pregnant, and I was pregnant and I just had a baby 5 months ago, before I was pregnant, I barely had hair because I worked for the company, so then I was hair-free. And then due to hormonal reasons and being pregnant and nursing, hair started growing back again. And so now I'm back to square one again, now that I'm done nursing, and I'm able to use the device. So hair can grow back due to hormonal reasons. If someone is taking steroids or for pain medication, for example, there is a disclaimer there, a fine print that says it could enhance hair growth. So that's one thing too. If someone's taking certain medications like the pill or any other type of medication that could enhance hair growth, then hair is going to grow back again. But it is never going to grow back to the exact same spot, and it is never going to be as much as how it used to be. So for me, like I said, when I was pregnant, hair started growing back. It was in different areas, in areas that never used to grow, and at the same time, it was never as thick. My hair growth was never as thick as how it used to be. So that's just something to keep in mind. Okay, so now let's move on and talk about the cartridges. I'm sure you have questions, so we'll ask, hold that thought, and we'll ask you at the end of the training session. Our device comes with a cartridge. The cartridge that it comes with has 50,000 pulses. And on the package itself, there is an additional cartridge of another 50,000 pulses. So the total that we offer at Costco is 100,000 pulses for the device. Now, talking about the pulses and how important it is, you have to understand that if you were to use this device for yourself or a woman, let's say for her face and all over the body, a complete 7-treatment protocol will approximately be around 15,000 pulses. So you could just imagine that having 100,000 pulse will really, it's almost a lifetime supply of pulses that you need. Or you can share the device. So one cartridge per person. So the 50,000 is for you. I have 15,000 pulses for you, and you basically use it all over your body. And then after that 15,000, you still have 35,000 pulses left on one cartridge. You can then just keep it and use it for touch-ups. Once in a while, when you're doing your body, you check your legs, you check your underarms, and you feel it and see if you need to do touch-ups here and there. The 50,000 cartridge should be sufficient for you for as long as you have it and you use it for yourself. Then you always have that additional 50,000 pulses too that you can use for yourself or you could share with someone else. So that's one of the great things is we are the only one who offers one package, which is sufficient, almost like a lifetime supply for one person. You can share the smooth with family members, like I said, and at the same time, we also sell cartridges separately. So on top of the device comes with when you purchase the Me Smooth, we also sell the cartridge separately for $29.99. And basically, this you could sell to someone who, let's say, has a big family. So this, say I will buy a Me Smooth device. It has 2 cartridges, so it's for me and my husband. But let's say I want to share it with my mother. She visits once in a while. She wants to use the device. I'll get her own cartridge as well. So this is where we could sell an additional cartridge. We don't sell it to add to someone and tell them, hey, 50,000, 100,000 might not be enough for you. You need to add more. We sell this to tell them that it's something that they could offer and give to someone else as part of their family or their household. Or it could be a girls' night and all the friends come over and they all want to do a hair removal session. They can then all have their own cartridge and use the same unit. Moving on, what's great about our device is you could also prep and treat at the same time. We have a shaver attachment, and I know you've seen this in store as well. If you look at that image on the bottom right on your screen, you can see how it's going to look like when you actually attach the shaver to the ELA device. You have the cartridge, and then you have the shaver right beside it. What's good about this is you can actually shave and treat at the same time. And we are the only device that can do this. So that's what a shaver attachment does. My recommendation for you is if you have a customer who you're already recommending for that person to shave before using the device, to shave or wax, I would grab a shaver and then say, you know, here's a shaver attachment, just attach it on the device. Instead of shaving and then treating, you could do both at the same time, and it saves you time and, you know, the energy and the effort that you're doing. It will save you that. So this is what the shaver attachment is. It's an electric shaver. It's very easy to use. When you have it in store, just make sure that, you know, you could turn it on to demo. You obviously don't have to demo it on a customer on the spot for the shaver, but, you know, on yourself, on the area that you don't really have hair, you could demo the shaver, and that way it's not going to be difficult for you to do so. We have instructions on how to install this in the bottom left, so you could refer to that. We sell the shaver as well for $29.99. Now we have the epilator adapter. One of the things that I know is that most of your doors do not have the epilator adapter available. This is something that we have ordered, and hopefully it's going to come in your door soon. But it is important for us to know what it's about. The epilator is almost like an electric tweezer. So what it does is that it tweezes the hair simultaneously, about 4 tweezers at the same time. Some people could find this very painful, other people don't. In our European market, people like to epilate all the time, so it's no big deal for them. In the North America market, you know, people aren't as familiar with it, and it really hurts for them. But, you know, it's good to offer this because some people don't know about it and they might want to try it. But specifically for those who have light hair and light skin, because we recommend that they either wax or epilate, let's offer the epilator option once you have this adapter available in store. So what you do, just like the shaver, is you install it right beside the cartridge, and you could epilate and treat at the same time. So currently, this was a question that was asked last week. What do I do if I don't have the epilator in store, but I have a blonde woman in front of me and she really wants to buy it, but I told her that she can epilate? What do you recommend is that she waxes. To tell you, you have to wax first and then use the device. Otherwise, you could buy the epilator on the Me Power website. So it's not available at the Costco website, but it is available on our Me Power website if needed. The last accessory that we have is our precision adapter. So what this is a small chip that pretty much cuts the treatment window in half. So when you install this, the big treatment window that you have is going to be cut in half. It becomes a smaller window, and it's a very helpful tool, more specific to targeted flashes in contoured or hard-to-reach places, such as your face, underarm, bikini area, around tattoos or moles. So on your face, you can use the device without a precision adapter, but some people just want a small spot and they don't want the whole window. So you could use the precision adapter just as an add-on. If you are using it on your bikini area, for example, and you don't want to get a full Brazilian hair removal type, we could then use the precision adapter, so then you could just target the areas where you don't want hair. For around tattoos and moles, this is very important. This device wasn't clinically tested for those who have tattoos and moles. Plus, it's not going to know, the technology is not going to know whether it's your skin or whether it's your hair because of the pigmentation that the tattoos or the moles have. And when I say moles, I'm not talking about the small moles. I'm talking about the slightly bigger moles that you could really visibly see. What we recommend is you don't use the device over the tattoos or the moles. You just want to use it around that area. It's not going to damage it, but we didn't clinically test it, so we rather that you don't apply the device directly on top of that. So you use it around the tattoo, you use it around the mole. And that's why the precision adapter is going to be helpful to have if you would like to have an easier target treatment. To use this device, to use this accessory, you just need to snap the precision adapter on the main applicator for the ultra targeted treatment. Instructions of how to attach and how to use are in the bottom of this page, so you could just refer to it on your own time. My other suggestion is when you're in the selling floor, also make sure to play around with accessories and installing. That way, when you are with the customer, you know, you don't scramble and you kind of are able to assist in demoing how to install the device and show them how easy it is to attach the accessories. Now let's move on to demoing the product using the sleeve. This is just something that we added recently because one of the great tools that we have is our packaging. The sleeve of the packaging of the box shows you different information on the product, and you can use this when you sell the device, and it's also a great reference for the customer to use when they go home and have the device and they want to refer to it again. The first image on the bottom left that you see shows you the hair growth. It shows you how ELOS technology works. The middle part, the middle image, shows you how this hair reduction is good for all skin tones and all hair colors, so that's a good reference. And finally, the other sleeve side shows you the treatment time, which is also a great reference for a customer if she's not sure, she or he is not sure where to use it and how to use it. Looking at this image as well and referring to it already shows them that it is good for all over their body and the number of minutes to use it for. Now let me open the floor for any questions before I continue and talk about the contraindications. Eddie, do you want to lead and maybe do a roll call? Okay, let me try that one more time in case you are on mute. I just wanted to ask anyone if they have any questions. So,
I apologize.
no
I
questions.
had to take it off mute. Hi, Paul. I'm here.
Perfect.